Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for everybody coming out. I welcome you to the museum and to a very special exhibit here tonight. I'm Joe Calvaruso. I'm the Executive Director of the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Foundation. We have some very special guests here tonight. We're very pleased to have Lynda Johnson Robb join us, along with Susan Ford Bales. Thank you for making the trip and coming. And joining them is 5 of the cousins, Martha, Karla, Karen, Lori, and Gary. Thank you for coming as well. It's nice to have a little family reunion. In the front row, we have a number of our trustees joining us. Marty Allen, Chairman Emeritus. Thank you so much for coming. Steve and Andel, thank you for coming. And also David Hooker and Bob Hooker are joining us. So it's great to have the trustees well represented tonight with us. Very special guest, those of you that are joining us tomorrow. Lisa Meyer is chairing of tomorrow's event. We very much appreciate all her energy and due diligence in the wonderful luncheon that will take place tomorrow. If everybody could silence their cell phone, the protocol for tonight is we're going to have a very short program and then a ribbon cutting. Then please feel free to tour the exhibit and then also to join us for reception in the lobby. Lisa McCubbin is here, and her book is coming out later this year in September. In fact, one of the first locations going to be here for the release of Lisa's book, and joining her is Clint Hill. Thank you for coming. Very much an honor to have both of you come here tonight. Tonight is very special. When Mrs. Ford's 100th birthday was coming up, Don Holloway, our curator here, him and I had a couple of conversations, and it took me a little arm twisting, but not a lot, to encourage him to curate the exhibit. So this is an exhibit not in a package. This is an exhibit where we started from ground zero, and Don pretty much single-handedly put it together, and it's very spectacular. It's a lot of work to self-curate an exhibit of this magnitude. So without any further ado, Elaine Didier will come to the podium. Elaine is the director of the museum and library, and my counterpart from the National Archives. Thanks for coming, Elaine.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Ford Museum. We're delighted that you're all here to kick off our 8 months of celebrations of Betty Ford's 100th birthday. This is the part of a series of events we're having. We started with free admission on Sunday here at the museum, and now tonight, with the help of our special guest standing behind me, we will officially open the Centennial exhibit. The exhibit has been made possible entirely by the support of the Ford Presidential Foundation, which is our wonderful partner on so much of what we do in feature exhibits, educational programs, research travel grants. So we're very, very grateful for the partnership with the Ford Presidential Foundation. The exhibit is the culmination of extensive research and planning and just plain hard work. Yes, Don Holloway, who you'll meet in a minute, in the lead, but also a number of our colleagues at both the museum and the library in Ann Arbor. Think about it. They had to research the stories, verify the facts, find the documents, find the photos, and of course select the artifacts. That was only the beginning, because as you will soon see, sets had to be first visualized, then designed, constructed, and installed. So it's been a months-long process that doesn't happen overnight, and it takes many, many hands. Along with this exhibit, which is the primary one, there will be a smaller satellite exhibit in the lobby of the library that will be opening in just a few weeks. And in addition, the National Archives in Washington has a special exhibit that just opened in honor of Mrs. Ford. We have also done a lot of research to develop materials for our website and for social media platforms, and we'll be hosting a number of special speakers about Mrs. Ford and the important role of First Ladies, both here at the museum and at the library in Ann Arbor. And you already just met Lisa McCubbin is one of those who will be coming to introduce her new biography of Betty Ford, and she'll be speaking in September here at the museum and at the library. Before I turn the program over, however, I've been asked to mention, I have to do a commercial, you understand, for the Ford Museum store in the lobby, which is open until 7 o'clock and which has quite an array of special information and artifacts and materials you might be interested in honor of Mrs. Ford. So please make sure to stop in the museum store before you leave. Now it's an honor to introduce our Supervisory Museum Curator, Don Holloway, who is truly the architect of this exhibit. He has been with the museum for 22 years and has developed extensive expertise about both President and Mrs. Ford and the Ford administration. In his time here, Don has had a role in shaping more than 60 feature exhibits. Think about that, 60 feature exhibits, and played a key leadership role in the renovation and design, not just once, but twice, most recently reopening in 2016. So it's a great pleasure to introduce my colleague, Don Holloway.
Thank you, Elaine, and thank you, Joe. I want to echo the gratitude that's already been extended to the foundation, and I have enjoyed working with Joe and his colleagues in the development of this exhibit. The foundation entrusts us with much, and we work hard to prove that their investment is well placed. And so I'm going to make this brief, but there are some people that I really want to thank, and I'm going to let the exhibit do the speaking for me otherwise. But I want to thank Elaine Didier, the Libraries and Museums Director. She has been a fount of encouragement to the exhibit team and a true benefit to our labors. Joe Westfall, Barb McGregor, Kristen Mooney here at the museum have also been very encouraging, and we appreciate their help. My deepest gratitude I extend to my exhibits team, Bettina Kuzno for her wonderful eye for design and for project management, and for working with John Dupree and Kevin at the GR shop to put together the sets that you'll see in there, the dance floor that you'll walk on, and the front of the house that you'll walk through. Jamie Draper for his dogged research and for his artifact assessment, for the work he does to help support the labels that you'll read in there. Stacy Davis, one of our archivists, an archivist extraordinaire over in Ann Arbor, who by magic finds the most illuminating documents for what we want to illustrate. Elizabeth Druga, always ready with just the right photo, as I hope you'll agree when you go through and see the photos that we have salted around the museum. And to Geir Gunderson, our supervisory archivist, who so artfully directs the workflow at the library. I also want to thank our interns, Annika Koster and Christina Ribbons, who more than rose to every occasion that we presented to them. Susan, we are very grateful for the family's support as well. The artifacts that you'll see in there, the documents that you see, most of those come from the family, from President and Mrs. Ford, and then from Susan and the rest of the family. So we're very grateful for that, to be able to share that with you at this centennial moment. So let me end also, Susan, by tipping my hat to your mother, the woman of the hour, who said as she entered the White House, "I want to make this house sing." Well, I hope this exhibit we dedicate to her not only sings, but also dances. And so I welcome you to the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Museum Centennial exhibit on Betty Ford, in step with Betty Ford.